me, dance, dance. My name is Teague, musiclearning.com is my site. This is part of a strum series I've put online. You'll find the description up here. I'm going to break this into pieces. This part we're going to concentrate on the power chord part. Subscribe, turn your notifications on so you know when I put the rest of the parts up. And of course, if you like it, comment, share, you know the drill. Thanks, let's jump in. B power chord. I'm going to kind of assume we know it, but a very quick review. We're going to have our first finger on the 2nd fret of the 5th string. Notice I do not have a 3rd fret dot, so be aware of that. For a B, I have my 3rd finger on the 4th fret of my 4th string for an F sharp, pinky right underneath it, 4th fret of my 3rd string for a B. Gives me a B power chord. The rhythm, which is the single most important element in music, if you ask my opinion, is going to do this. Very simple. Quarter note, worth 1 beat, then 6 eighth notes, which will be worth the rest of the measure. So we have 1, 2, and 3, and 4, and. Long, then 6 shorts. And the 6 shorts, we'll start with the down, and we'll just go down, up, down, up, down, up. That gives us one measure. Quarter note worth 1 beat, then 6 eighth notes worth half a beat each. Count it as 1, 2, and 3, and 4, and. It's quite fast, but that's the rhythm. We want to start there and get a good grip on that. From here, we're going to move up a whole step and a half. So I'm going from B in my 2nd position here. I'm going to move up a half step would be C, another whole step gives me a D. So I'm now in the 5th position. First finger's got the 5th fret of that 5th string for a D. 3rd finger has the 7th fret of my 4th string for an A. Pinky's right underneath that to give us another D, to give us a D power chord. Same rhythm. Quarter note, 6 eighth notes. 1, 2, and 3, and 4, and. So, pretty easy. You'll notice on that very last up, so the and of beat 4, 1, 2, and 3, and 4, and, we have to get to this D to the downbeat of that measure 2. That's very important, and because it's so fast, you're going to find that that last up on that B isn't probably going to sound like a B. It's going to probably be some sort of percussive sound, so we get to D on time. But the D is important. It falls on the beat. 1, 2, and 3, and 4, and 1. So when you play it slow, you'll probably find you hear that chord. When you start to speed it up, you'll start to lose it. Don't worry too much about that. From the D power chord, we're going to go to a G power chord. I don't know if I mentioned this before, but I meant to. I could have also played this B power chord in 7th position on strings 4, 5, 6. But I chose to play it here. Both would work, but I'm going to go with this one. So we have the B for measure 1, the D for measure 2. Measure 3, we're going to go to a G power chord. So I'm coming back to 3rd position. However, now I'm on strings 4, 5, 6. So I have my first finger on the 3rd fret of the 6th string for a G, 3rd finger on the 5th fret of my 5th string for a D, right underneath it with my pinky for a G. G power chord. Same rhythm again with one little tiny exception. Well, actually, no, the rhythm's the same. The difference is that last one on the and of beat 4 is going to be a G flat power chord. We're going to back this G up a half step. You could also call it an F sharp power chord. It's up to you. 1, 2, and 3, and 4, and 1, 2, and 3, and 4, and 1, 2, and 3, and 4, and. 1, 2, and 3, and 4, and. So it's on the and of beat 4. And it will be with an up. So you'll notice you would have played the G, the long, and then 2 and 3 and 4 and. And back to that first thing we talked about, moving B to D and that click on the and of beat 4, it'll be more apparent getting from the D to the G, because you're now jumping from strings 3, 4, 5 to 4, 5, 6. So there's no way at that speed you're not going to hear a click on the and of 4 from that D to the G. Sorry, I don't know what I just did there. I made something, ignore that, I made something up. But the D, 1, 2, and 3, and 4, and right to the G. If you play it slow, you'll probably find that it's there, but as you start to speed it up, end up with a click. So that last up on my D power chord, I'm already moving to my G to get to G on time, so it's going to be a click. That's okay. It's just a part of rock music as we speed stuff up. I'm playing on an acoustic. Obviously, it's on electric with lots of distortion, but okay. So it's only a 4-measure riff, so we're moving on to measure 4, which starts on the F sharp that we played on the end of beat 4 of measure 3. Remember, measure 3 was 1, 2, and 3, and 4, and. So downbeat of measure 4, the last measure now, is F sharp. So we have 2 F sharps in a row now. The up from the end of the 3rd measure, and then down for measure 4. So 1, 2, and 3, and 4, and 1. Beat 2 of measure 4 is a click. So I'm just going to play measure 4 here for a moment. We start with the F sharp with the down on beat 1, quarter note, click on beat 2. I'm clicking just by releasing the pressure off these strings here. Right? I don't know how well you can tell that, but that way now when my pick comes down on the strings, instead of hearing the chord, I just hear this click. 1, 2. Okay? On the end of beat 2, we're going to go up. We're going to play a B flat power chord. This is putting us in the 1st position. We're moving back now again to strings 3, 4, 5. 1st fret, 3rd fret, and then my pinky's also on the 3rd fret. So strings 3, 4, and 5. So you're on those middle 3 strings. I didn't mention this before, and I should have also. When I'm playing power chords on strings 3, 4, 5, I don't want to hear this 6-string ring. It's not going to sound very good. So I typically have my middle finger here kind of sitting very gently over that string. So if I hit it, I don't actually hear it. But it's not playing. If I played it, I'd hear that. It's just sitting there to stop it. You can also, and now I'm not even sure which way I did it in the beginning of the video, you can also do it by having this 1st finger touch that 6th string. So see how it's just barely touching the 1st string. I'm not pressing again. It's touching it enough that if I hit that string, I'm not going to hear that or that. I'm just going to. Hopefully that kind of makes sense, but to make it clean. Okay, so back to measure 4. We have the F sharp, beat 1, the click, up on that B flat, and immediately back down on it for beat 3. So 1, 2, and 3. So you're going up, down on that B flat, the end of 2 to 3. 1, 2, and 3. 1, 2, and 3. Then we're going to click on beat 4. Again, same way, and move up a half step to the B power chord we started on for the end of beat 4 with an up. That's the end of measure 4. That's the end of the riff. 1, 2, and 3, 4, and. So from the G, and then the riff starts again, so that B we just hit with an up is immediately going to go back down to start the riff again. Did I play it right? I'm not even sure if I played it right. Cool, right? It's important. That whole little is important. It sits there in time, and that's why we broke it down like that, so that you play it properly, you learn it properly, and then when you piece it all together, it sounds right. Anyway, again, my name's Teague. MusicLearning.com is the site. This is part of a strum series. You'll find up here in the description somewhere if you have interest in that. And turn your notifications on and subscribe so you'll know when I put the rest of the parts up. There's that little cool part, and then there's this octave part that sits over the power chord. We'll look at that. And a couple other little tiny parts, and then and I'll do that soon. So again, subscribe, turn notifications on. If you liked it, like, comment, share. You know the drill. Thanks so much again for watching. My name is Teague. We'll see you soon.